On se rapproche du dahlia noir, je pense. C'est une grosse enquête.
We got our orders. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
Ouais, j'avoue. On va visiter un petit peu son appart. Oh, qu'est-ce qui se passe là? Ah, il y a le téléphone. Oh, bolos!
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thanks, ma'am.
Bon, ben au moins on a un lieu où on va pouvoir enquêter. Par contre, le type qu'on a mis aux arrêts, on pourrait pas l'interroger? Franchement, j'ai envie de l'interroger. No gun, solo. Hey les gars, salut! Je sais pas qu'il y avait des cellules là. Non, il n'y a pas beaucoup de cellules pour un comme ça, je trouve. Faut pas rentrer dedans? Apparemment, il y a un interrogatoire, on va visiter un peu. D'accord, mais et là-dedans, on peut rentrer? Il y a personne. Bon, bah, on va être obligé d'aller sur le lieu d'enquête. Tant pis. On va conduire cette fois-ci, j'ai envie de faire du bien. Non, ma voiture est mieux.
Let me pose a question.
Depends. What's it got to do with?
Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away?
Depends.
On what?
On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the slammer ever found out.
Bon, tant pis. Donc j'avais un truc à dire, mais ma mémoire de poisson rouge a pris le dessus. C'est pas bien grave. Donc je sais pas encore combien d'épisodes va durer cette série. Encore un gros paquet, je pense. Il y a encore deux. Parce qu'il y a encore la brigade des mœurs, d'après ce que j'ai vu, et la brigade incendiaire. Peut-être même une troisième, mais j'ai pas fait gaffe. Oh là, oh là, oh là, oh là, oh là, oh là, oh là.
Watch where you're driving, you maniac!
Comment ça, je conduis comme un fou? La voiture penchait un peu, je trouvais.
Watch it, will you?
N'importe quoi, mais genre. Classe le bâtiment, tiens, en tout cas le type. Bien, 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 on va avancer un peu. Oh là, oh là, attends, oh, je reviens là. McCaffrey, c'est le 6.
McCaffrey is in apartment 6.
Voilà. L'appartement 6, donc ça doit être un étage supérieur, j'imagine. On va se laisser guider. Peut-être par ici. Ah ouais, 5 et 6 c'est par là. Putain, c'est juste 4 appartements par étage, mais c'est énorme. C'est assez awesome.
Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Terrible shame.
Oh mince.
Means there's nobody to let us in. You want to do the honors, Phelps?
Un peu fifou sur les bords, moi je défonce les portes et tout. Peut-être la bouteille qu'elle avait achetée.
Doesn't give me anything to go on.
Bah, d'accord. Bon, d'accord, j'ai rien dit, ok, c'est toi le maître. C'est toi le chef de cérémonie. Oh, il y a du sang là. Je pense qu'on a trouvé notre meurtrier. Mais... Pourquoi tu veux pas le... Voilà.
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Ouais, donc
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in
We're
here?
from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you gonna give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation at least.
Anatomy of Power, ouais, d'accord. Quelqu'un de très cultivé en tout cas. La lecture fort intéressante. Ah, la suite de la lettre. Rapidement guéri, tu pourras rentrer à la maison. J'ai remis toutes tes affaires dans ton ancienne chambre avec un verrou sur la porte afin que tu aies un espace à toi et tu pourrais aller et venir comme tu le souhaites. Putain, je sais plus lire. Je m'occuperai de toi et tu trouveras une vie normale. Je sais que tu as changé d'adresse, alors je ne suis pas sûr que cette terre te parvienne. Mais je prie pour que tu te trouves et que tu réfléchisses à ce que je te propose. Je t'aime de tout mon cœur et je prie chaque jour pour qu'il ne t'arrive rien de mal et pour qu'un jour tu frappes à ma porte et que l'abîme qui nous sépare soit comblé. Avec amour et compassion ta mère, Augusta Summers.
Torn from the letter we found beside the body. At the very least, I'd say it ties McCaffrey to the scene.
Minimum, il y a plus que le minimum, il y a même la chemise, voilà. D'accord, bon. On peut pas faire plus que la regarder. D'accord, bon bah c'est pas grave, si tu veux pas, hein, c'est pas grave. Ça ne t'en va absolument pas. Oh attends, il y a une loupe. Qu'est-ce que j'ai loupé là? Ah non mais c'est la bouteille, on s'en fout. Mon téléphone c'est pas intéressant. Là il y a une loupe aussi tout à l'heure. Le livre. Le dernier bastion.
Don't think this is any use to us.
Je suis d'accord avec toi pour une fois, tu vois. Donc on arrive à être d'accord en fait. On va y voir la cuisine. Petite cuisine, ouais. Bon, on va aller voir le monsieur. Attends, Galloway, tu pousse ton gros corps, merci. Ah, là, ça va être par là. Il est où l'escalier? Y a pas d'escalier! Tu nous as menti! C'est mal de mentir. Ça doit être encore au-dessus, j'imagine.
There's the guy. I heard he's an honest cop. There's an oxymoron for you.
Tais-toi, je m'en fous de ce que tu dis. Ah, c'est par là, voilà. En espérant qu'il ne court pas. Hein.
Grosvenor McCaffrey! Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
Son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
Oh là là, j'aime pas les escaliers comme ça, c'est chiant. Oh, putain, mais c'est quoi ce course poursuite là? Des escaliers, des échelles, des... Aïe 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 aïe.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
Je peux pas sortir mon arme, merde. Sinon j'aurais tiré un coup dans le pied là, une flèche dans le genou, tu sais. Ça lui aurait fait du bien. Non, 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 va pas par là, tu vas crever. Comment je le sais? Je suis en doute.
Give it up, LAPD.
Allez, plus vite, mec. Phelps. C'est un écrivain devant. C'est un gratte-papier, mec. Puis rapidement, faire un plaquage. Ah oui, 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 oui. Oh oui!
McCaffrey, you're under arrest on suspicion of murdering Evelyn Summers.
Ça, c'est de l'arrestation. Ouh, ah, ça m'a fatigué tout ça, moi. Bah attendez, il a fallu cliquer, appuyer sur les
We need to
touches.
get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tyranny set him up. You don't think that asshole Jameson could have done it, do you? Whoever did it. So what's that Dahlia fuck?
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the Dahlia?
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
If you think the list is exhaustive, God, you're gonna kill us!
Mais elle est complète. Bah alors tu...
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
On te prend au mot, Galloway. Ouais, je prends la voie du train, voilà. Au moins il n'y a pas de voiture, c'est plus simple, et hop, on arrive pile poil au commissariat. Sans trop abîmer la voiture. Putain, je suis magique. En tout cas, on arrive au dénouement de cette enquête, ça me semble plutôt pas mal.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young Phelps.
Je t'ai jamais déçu.
Need a drink.
Enfin, presque
I
jamais.
got the jitters again.
Donc on va commencer par seul interrogatoire numéro 2.
They don't talk about other people.
Je sais plus qui c'est qu'il y a dedans. Bah ça tombe
You
bien.
ready to answer some questions? You think I have all the answers? People who run from the police usually have something to hide. Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Bah ton alibi, tout simplement.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
On est d'accord que c'est pas vrai. Est-ce que j'ai une lettre déchirée, ne veut rien dire. Le livre non, achat d'alcool non plus. D'accord. Ouais, mais je ne sais pas. Percy Shelley. Derrière dans le livre, il n'y a pas un... Il y a peut-être un rapport avec l'un des livres, Percy Shelley. Mais lequel, je n'en sais rien. Non, pourquoi j'ai fait ça? Pourquoi ouais. Mensonge.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
Je ne sais pas. La lettre déchirée. Non. Non plus. L'heure du décès. Le démon de pneu. J'ai envie de dire la lettre, mais là je dois dire que je suis pas du tout convaincu.
How about half of Augusta Summers' last correspondence with her daughter?
What are you talking about?
After you were done beating Evelyn, you searched her and found her mother's letter. That old lady's anguish amused you.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
Là, on va parler à l'autre.
I saved a whole year for that car.
L'autre il passe un sale quart d'heure à côté. J'aimerais pas être sur place.
Parker or Green?
Interrogatoire room 2. Non, c'est la room 1 qu'on veut. Alors, un se trouve de ce côté, si je me souviens bien.
I say we bust in there
Yeah.
and find the goddamn evidence.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Peut-être parce que tu es coupable. Donc on a plein de questions à te poser.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Tu mens. J'ai envie de te faire doute.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Premier fail, ça c'est fait.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
I have faith in the Lord. Do you, senor?
Bon, il dit la vérité là.
You don't like McCaffrey, do you, Tiernan?
Quoi?
He's full of the common man routine, but he props up a bar like the rest of us. Evelyn thought he was going to be a great novelist. And he had nothing but vitriol for her.
Putain, mais
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Tu mens. Là tu mens, d'accord. J'aurais peut-être dû attendre un petit peu plus tout à l'heure. Qu'est-ce qui a pu se passer la nuit dernière? On va voir les preuves. Dernier signalement, ouais, non. Ah, mais non, pourquoi je fais échappe? On va faire doute.
If you don't give me some reason to think differently about this, Tiernan, I'm gonna have to go to the DA.
I drank half a bottle of scotch. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Attends, une demi-bouteille de Sky, t'en es tout plus rien? Arrête de boire, mec. Stop
Do
l'alcool.
you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
We use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Well, are there any leads? No entiendo.
D'accord, mais je sais pas, là, franchement, je sais pas. J'ai rien. Démon de pneu, ouais. On va dire mensonge.
I want the truth. I think you broke into McCaffrey's apartment and planted a lug wrench there.
I didn't do that, and there's no way you can prove any different.
Bah si, le démon de pneu.
As hard as this is for you to contemplate, I really loved Evelyn. She was kind
Mazette.
and gentle to me.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. A big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
Mouthpiece torch strips off me
Ça
at
va
the
être chaud
grand jury.
patate, quoi.
Case is thrown out. Now the DA wants
Je vais passer un coup de téléphone.
I need a drink.
Le téléphone est là.
Got the jitters again.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Rien que ça, mais
Thank
putain. Un gros fifou, lui. Bien. Ben, on va revenir parler à Monsieur McCaffrey. Puisqu'il est loin d'être non.
Don't mind me.
D'accord, j'ai eu peur. J'ai cru qu'il m'appelait le chef. Donc service militaire, ouais.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was.
Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
Mais bah non.
You're holding out on us, McCaffrey. What other trouble have you been in?
I was in a few labor disputes before the war. I didn't use my real name.
LOL. Faut que je recommence tout?
Hey,
C'est
I
une
gave
blague.
his wife a tap. I said all's fair in love and war.
Non, c'est pas une blague apparemment.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
Mazette.
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Bon. On sait que tu mens, de toute façon.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
Mais pourquoi c'est tout flou comme ça? Genre. Non, c'est pas le domaine de pneu. Donc on sait qu'il ment. Oui, parce qu'il a été vu.
McCaffrey gave you up, Tiernan. He says he saw you go into your hotel with Evelyn.
I met Evelyn at the public library. We would read for a while and then go for a drink. Last night, we went back to my hotel room and had some more to drink. I must have passed out. I woke up and she was gone.
What time was this?
Around midnight, maybe later.
And there's no one who can confirm this.
No, there isn't. I knew you wouldn't believe me.
Bah, bien sûr qu'on n'avait pas de quoi. Putain. Bon, bah le livre. Voilà, voilà, c'était presque bon. Non, tu veux pas te mettre en...
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at it once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
Donc on sait qu'il ne dit pas la vérité. Ceci dit, il n'a pas l'air de mentir non plus. En tout cas, s'il ment, j'ai aucune preuve, j'ai rien quoi. Du coup, je vais douter.
We either hang this on you or McCaffrey. You better give us something.
Well, McCaffrey's been in trouble with the law before. I mean, he always makes out it was some kind of labor dispute. But, you know, I'm not so sure.
Intéressant tout ça, donc on va lui demander l'alibi.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Il ment. Qu'est-ce que j'ai comme preuve qui pourrait le faire tomber? Merde, du décès, mais... non, pas du tout. Je sais pas. Sérieusement, je sais pas. Ah, mais non, j'ai fait chat. Putain. Je commence à me détester. Dans ce cas-là, vu que j'ai rien pour contredire, peut-être qu'il faut que je doute, mais je vois clairement qu'il ment, mais je ne sais pas comment. Je ne sais pas. On va quand même dire mensonge.
You're lying, Tiernan. You'd been fighting with her. You fought, and...
I'm not lying! She got up and left, that was it!
Je sais pas. Là, franchement, je sais pas quoi mettre. Mais attends, c'est pas avec lui qu'elle a été boire de l'alcool? Ouais, mais non, ça m'aidera pas. C'est le seul truc qui est en rapport avec cette soirée, donc...
She left, but she came back. She bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. She wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer, and McCaffrey was a hero. McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
I might as well have. I kicked her out. She had nowhere to go.
Ben voilà, quand je veux, je m'en sors beaucoup mieux. Du coup, c'est l'arme du crime.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
No, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Where's the phone?
Donc j'ai rien pour prouver qu'il ment. J'ai essayé tout à l'heure, mais voilà quoi. Mais on voit clairement qu'il dit pas la vérité. J'hésite, je dis un peu l'intuition. Enfin, ouais, il va me dire quoi? 1, 2 ou 3, mais bon. C'est pas 1, il dit pas la vérité. J'ai aucune preuve, parce que je me suis loupé tout à l'heure, donc il y a que le doute là.
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench.
Ah, faut que je loupe une enquête pour la
I think
réussir.
you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Bien, bien, bien. Non, on va pas l'inculper, lui. Putain, bah, pour une fois, on en a le choix, tu sais.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. Big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
Bien, bon bah alors on sait que c'est pas lui. Enfin, on peut se douter que c'est pas lui. Donc on va appeler comme tout à l'heure le... Non, on peut pas appeler. D'accord. Bon, on va aller parler au monsieur.
Mouthpiece tore strips off me at the grand jury. Case was thrown out. Now
You ready to answer some questions? You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Ah, c'est enfin pas flou. Ben ouais, donc on va lui demander son avis. De toute façon, on n'a pas grand chose d'autre à demander.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
Donc là, on sait qu'il ment, parce qu'on l'a découvert la dernière fois.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
D'ailleurs, je trouve que ça fait une preuve un peu léger, mais bon, après tout, pourquoi pas.
How about half of Augusta Summers' last correspondence with her daughter?
What are you talking about?
After you were done beating Evelyn, you searched her and found her mother's letter. That old lady's anguish amused you.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
Ce type me casse un peu les noix.
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey.
You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
Douter ne sert à rien, c'est un type plutôt intelligent. Mais il saura tout de suite me contrer, mais il dit pas la vérité. Oh putain, elle est chiante cette enquête, je l'aime pas, franchement je l'aime pas. Du coup, je sais pas quoi faire. Je ne sais pas quoi faire. Bon, on va quand même me dire mensonge.
I don't believe you, Grosvenor. The evidence says that you killed her.
You can prove that I wanted to kill Evelyn?
Ah, mais attendez! Je vois tout en bas là, accusation de Tiernan, c'est quoi? Y'avait pas ça tout à l'heure? Hein. Mais voilà!
Tiernan is prepared to testify that you threatened Evelyn's life in his presence.
Self-preservation. That's understandable. Okay, I'll level with you. Tiernan killed Evelyn. He came to me for help. I listened to him, and he explained why he did it.
Tiernan went to you for help. You expect me to buy that?
That's how it went down. I told him he made a terrible mistake, but he would be throwing his life away if he went to the cops. I took his things and told him I would dispose of them.
But you didn't.
Speak to Tiernan. He'll give it up.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette enquête? Je pensais que c'était terminé. Mais what the fuck?
Yeah, the bum took a swipe at me. Put him down with my sap.
On va passer un coup de téléphone pour... Pourquoi j'en sais rien, mais on va passer un coup de téléphone.
Operator, give me dispatch.
C'est le coup de fil à un ami, on va dire.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
Alors?
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks, ma'am.
Bien, 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 bien. Bon, bah alors... on va retourner voir monsieur le Bowlingman.
You spoken to McCaffrey? I can go, it's all been cleared up?
Not quite. We have one more question we need to ask, James. Then I think we will be done.
Sure. Go ahead.
Pourquoi c'est toujours flou avec lui? Mais c'est son haleine d'alcool qui revient dans mes narines et qui font que je vois trouble. C'est con. Merde, faut cliquer.
So Evelyn passed out, and you walked out. What happened next?
I woke up in the morning, very hungover. I thought Evelyn would have come back.
Je sais pas. Là, je ne sais pas. Ah, mais on a les accusations de... Putain, il y a plein de trucs là maintenant. J'aimerais bien que ce soit pas flou, ce serait cool. Déjà, c'était condamné pour vol, tout à fait. On va essayer de lui faire dire ça. Ah, mais j'ai refait échappe. Mais lol. Du coup, on va dire que c'est un mensonge. Ouais, de toute façon, j'ai plus rien à perdre. Je peux pas douter, enfin là, à ce stade de la partie, en fait, généralement, on peut dire que mensonge, mensonge. Ils mentent tous.
I know you're lying, James. You went out looking for her. Tell me what really happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. How can you say I wasn't in that hotel room?
Parce que quelqu'un t'accuse. Tout simplement, mec. Et hop. Tout avoué, demander son aide pour se débarrasser des preuves. Ouais, ah, c'était pas flou tout à l'heure, si? Oh, j'ai la mémoire.
You wound up at McCaffrey's. You were still incredibly drunk. You passed out on his floor. It's time to tell me what really happened.
McCaffrey woke me up the next morning, and he showed me the lug wrench and the letter and the box, and he said I came in with him last night. He said that I killed Evelyn, and that it was all over the radio, and that he would protect me. And I don't know, Detective, for the life of me, I can't remember a goddamn thing. And I was angry with her. Really angry. I could have done it.
Wow. T'es dans la merde, toi.
Was it me?
Je vais pas t'inculper, je vais d'abord parler à l'autre pour confirmer tout ça parce que ça me paraît chelou quand même.
Wait here.
Je préfère accuser quelqu'un de méthodique comme l'autre que toi. Toi, t'es un simplet, t'es comme moi, t'es un alcoolo, voilà.
That's the guy from the papers. Solved that big case.
Eh, tu fais quoi, toi?
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
Mais tu pars toujours à la tardée. Ah, donc service militaire. Ah, bah. C'est quoi ces questions, là? Service militaire?
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw. It changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
Eh ben, ouais, enfin, on a une preuve de casier judiciaire, donc on va l'utiliser, je sais pas.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge?
Casier judiciaire, mec, et ouais. Moi, j'ai même pas regardé, j'espère que c'est bon. Pour vol et violence. Était renvoyé de l'armée. C'est une blague. J'aurais dû regarder avant. Non, je suis invisible. Mais j'ai que ça, j'ai rien. Ça me saoule. On va tenter le coup. Maintenant que j'ai commencé l'accusation.
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge. Beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore. She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country. I could have...
You beat her because she stole from you. Because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch. What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her.
Waouh. Waouh. Je sais pas ce que vous en pensez, mais j'ai bien envie de l'inculper celui-là, parce que franchement... Ouais, franchement, ouais. Ah ouais, je t'inculpe, toi. J'aime pas la tête que tu tires, t'es colérique. L'autre, il est alcoolique et je peux pas lui en vouloir. Voilà, toi, t'es colérique. J'aime pas les coléreux.
Governor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
Congratulations, boys, you bagged the fine catch. Another red to boot. Grand. Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind. This McCaffrey creature shows no remorse, and neither will the grand jury. You would have to walk a long mile to find a better candidate for an unmarked plot in the prison graveyard.
Si tu le dis, mec. Ceci, il a pas voté. Enfin, si, il a. Lyon, quelque part, il a avoué. Wow! Mais c'est une enquête parfaite! Si on met entre parenthèses le fait que j'ai complètement fail. Affaire classée. Et en plus j'ai déverrouillé un succès, tout est lié. Oh ouais. Oh ouais. Putain, 17 sur 17 et 16 sur 16. Putain, je suis balèze. Bon, par contre, le comportement, véhicule endommagé, 2900 $. Bon, ouais, c'est rien. Hein. Il n'y a aucune blessure, c'est tout ce qui compte. Bref, je vais vous laisser admirer l'enquête, enfin le début d'enquête suivante, et après je vous ferai un petit au revoir. Bon, après la sauvegarde et après le chargement, bien sûr, j'avais oublié ces petits détails. Japon!
We have lost most of Shaughnessy and Dunn's squad. The gunny is dead, first platoon is in worse shape. That medic is either crazy or the bravest man alive.
Can we rally with the first and try for the Nambus?
It's sheer to the left. To the right, it goes right through a pass with 2 Nambus and enfilade.
Mate,
we can lose everyone.
Lieutenant! Get back off this fucking bridge! They'll start walking the mortars back to their own positions! We only have minutes!
I'm in charge here, Sergeant!
Get your men off the bridge, Lieutenant!
What's your unit, Sergeant?
We don't have time for this, Lieutenant!
What's your unit, Sergeant?
I company 22nd Marines, Lieutenant, and we just saved your ass by fording the river.
My orders are to reconnoiter the...
I think that point is now moot! You have 10 men left! My orders are to save what's left! Move out!
Putain, une belle tête de mule le Phelps, hein, quand même. Sous la lune meurtrière. C'est pas faux.
Well done, lads. You did well with the Summers case. But we have a problem. The examiner received a new letter today.
Do you mind if I take a look, Ray?
Go right ahead. They've both been rinsed in gasoline like the previous letters, so I can't lift a print.
Donc, on va commencer par le rouge. Percy B. Shelley. Ah ouais. Quelle mort la nuit défilée. Puissante. Aimer, supporter, espérer, je sais que j'ai mal de lire. Ok, c'est pas faux. Ouais.
To suffer woes, which hope thinks infinite. To forgive wrongs darker than death or night.
D'accord, ouais, c'est pas faux. C'est lui qui a envoyé ça? On va commencer par celui haut. Oui, alors que la musique résonne encore, je me cachais sur la place publique dans une fontaine où je me couchais comme le reflet de la lune, aperçu dans une vague sous de feuilles vertes feuilles.
Another snippet from the Shelley poem.
Ouais, c'est pas faux. Mais l'enquête a commencé ou pas là? Voilà. Bon, juste je vais lire les lettres puis après je vais vous laisser. Salope bégay, prouve-moi.
No one else but the killer knew about this message.
J'avoue.
If the note is from the Dahlia maniac, he definitely also killed Teresa Terrellson.
Mal and I agree.
But where does that leave us? If this is the Dahlia killer, and he is responsible for the Tarrelson murder, not to mention the Muller
Hang
case.
on a moment, Skipper.
Let me finish, Rusty. We have 5 birds in hand and none in the bush. The department will not survive a scandal if we have to let them all go without catching a fiend first. Your careers will be over for a start, gentlemen.
Looking in wonder.
Ah, fuck it. I knew this run was too good to be true.
I hid myself within a fountain in the public square.
You like that stuff? What is it supposed to mean?
It's supposed to... Forget what it's supposed... What does he want it
Where are you going with this, Cole?
He's obviously taunting us. He believes he's far more intelligent than we are.
Okay, it's some kind of story, right? A guy that God hates, chains him up.
It's an allegory, Rusty.
A what? Story with 2 meanings. A symbolic meaning. But that's what he wants us to think.
Could he be using it literally? Within a fountain in a public square? Could it be that easy?
Can somebody tell me what the fuck is going on?
The fountain in Pershing Square. Come on, we have a clue. Captain, thanks, Ray.
Be careful, Phelps. This is his game you're playing now.
Bien. Donc, apparemment, la prochaine enquête va être extrêmement centrée sur le Dahlia noir. Ça me tarde de la faire d'ailleurs, je n'ai même pas comment j'ai envie de coincer cet enfoiré. Bref, je vais vous laisser sur cette intrigue qui va vous donner envie de regarder plus activement et moi de le faire. Donc je vous dis ciao les gens, à plus tard.